Today, for our meditation, I was thinking about doing something a little bit different than normal. It's something that's inspired by a book that I'm reading at the moment called Your Sacred Self. And what I ask you to do is begin to entertain the notion that you are made up of three things. Your life on earth is made up of three things. You have your mind, you have your body, and you also have your spirit. And when I say spirit, you're welcome to think of that as your soul, as your life force, energy, whatever it is that that differentiates between life and death on earth for you. So I like the word spirit because I think it's somewhere in between soul and energy, and I just feel like it's a little bit more neutral term that a lot of people can identify with and look at themselves as something more than the mind and the body, because we are. So in this meditation, we are going to look at the mind and the body from the perspective of the spirit. We're going to tap into that essence, that feeling, and see if we can observe ourselves or observe these, the body and the mind, almost from an outsider perspective, but from a place of compassion. So anyway, let's not worry about explaining this too much more or what's going to happen. Let's just go ahead and dive right in. So I invite you to begin to focus on your breath, noticing the breath as it enters on the inhalation and as it exits on the exhalation. I also invite you to gently close your eyes with me. And with your eyes closed, begin to find a comfortable position for your body. Begin feeling into the spine, getting that as straight as possible, keeping that head in line with the spine. Breathing here. You're welcome to sit or lie down as long as you're comfortable. Uncrossing your hands and your feet, letting them lay straight. Breathing here. And today, I invite you to begin this breath-centered meditation by focusing on your upper abdomen. Feeling how the upper abdomen around the base of the rib cage expands and contracts with each breath. Taking a couple minutes here, breathing and gently anchoring in. Bringing back the attention when it wanders right into the upper abdomen. breathing. And I invite you now to take that perspective of the spirit. So coming from your life force energy, seeing if you can observe the body and observe the breath as it enters and exits the upper abdomen. Thinking or even saying aloud, I am a spirit, I am life force energy, and I can watch the body and the mind. Just beginning to observe the sensations in the upper abdomen as you continue to breathe. Bringing that attention, feeling that presence of your energy, your spirit, gently observing the abdomen. Observing each breath going in and out. Observing how that breath naturally continues. Breathing. Noticing your body with compassion. Remembering that that spirit, that life force for you has nothing but loving intentions and loving feelings. Feeling it all around the body. Bringing the attention back to the breath in the upper abdomen. Continuing to notice the sensations here. Sensations of breathing and any other sensations What do you feel in this area of your body? Going back, really tapping in with that essence of spirit, that essence of life energy. Identifying this as that eternal piece of you. And from this perspective, beginning to notice the mind and notice the thoughts. Continuing to breathe as you notice whatever thoughts come up from this external perspective. Notice the chatter. The chatter that comes up for each and every one of us. And go ahead and listen to it from the perspective of this higher self. Notice that when tapping in from the spirit perspective, it's easier to observe the thoughts and not get so carried away. Notice if any of these thoughts create sensations in your body. Notice if the thoughts get faster or louder as you put more attention on them, or if they get quieter and fewer and far in between. Remembering that you're coming from a place of compassion and simply observing. Continuing to breathe. Noticing any sounds around you from the perspective of the observer. As you continue to observe your body and your mind in this present moment. Taking a couple deep breaths, really anchoring yourself back into this moment. As you continue observing, breathing as you take a moment to notice the mind again, noticing those thoughts have become louder, quieter, faster or slower. Not changing anything, just observing. Allowing them to flow. And just trusting that the longer we observe, the longer we mind them, the longer we listen, the more the mind begins to slow. And notice if your mind now has perhaps begun to switch from more chatter to more analytical thinking. The ifs, the whats, the hows. Just noticing and continuing to observe. Continuing to breathe. Bringing that focus back when it wanders. And watching the mind. Noticing the breath. Watching the mind. Breathing and beginning to notice your neck. Noticing it as it feels right now. As you watch it as a light body of energy, as a spirit, as a life force, as an observer. Feeling the shoulders. Breathing as you feel your upper arms, just noticing them, noticing how they're feeling. Breathing as you feel your forearms, feeling your hands, the back of your hands, the tops of your fingers. Breathing, feeling the palms of your hands. Noticing any sensations in the palms of your hands. Breathing and bringing that awareness into the chest, into the upper chest. Breathing, noticing the front of the chest now. Breathing and feeling how the front of the rib cage expands as you inhale. Gently bringing that attention into the upper back, into the back side of the rib cage. Feeling the expansion and the contraction there as you breathe. Moving down into the back of the lower rib cage, into your spine. Breathing, feeling that the center of your back expanding and deflating with each breath. Moving the attention down into the lower back. Feeling the breath reach here. Feeling the muscles in this area. Noticing, not trying to change, remembering that you are an observer. As you breathe in and notice your body. Breathing into the upper abdomen now. Breathing into the lower abdomen. Again, feeling these muscles here. Feeling any sensations here. Breathing and letting that awareness flow down into your hip flexors, right where your hips bend. Breathing into the abdomen. Breathing into the pelvis now. Breathing into the base of the spine, imagining your breath can go into the sacrum, right at the very base of the spine, already in between your hips. Notice any feelings that arise and begin to watch them as a compassionate observer. Breathing into the sits bones now, feeling where your butt makes contact with the cushion beneath you or floor beneath you. Breathing and noticing the legs now. Feeling the thighs. Feeling the upper legs all the way into the bone, into the femurs. Continuing to breathe into the knees. Noticing the sensations in your lower legs. And breathing into your feet. Feeling how your feet are supported by the surface beneath you. Breathing in and imagining energy from the very center of the earth, beginning to gently come up through your feet. Just setting that intention and allowing it to be so. Breathing and bringing your attention back to your hips. Breathing where the leg bones meet the hip bones. Really noticing the sensations here today. Remembering you're a neutral, compassionate observer. As you watch your breath float all the way down into your hips and back out. Continuing to breathe. Continuing to observe, bringing your attention now into the chest, observing the sensations of the chest once again. And now imagining that you can perfectly balance and merge this energetic sense of self, this spirit of yours, with your body, with your mind, allowing them to come all together at once in a peaceful harmony. Asking for balance. Breathing in a bit of peace, a bit of love, a bit of light. And let's take a copy of this peacefulness that we've cultivated today in our bodies and our hearts. And just imagine that you can send it out to anyone on the planet that could use it right now. Just imagine sending out a few copies, hundreds of copies, millions of copies. The energy is limitless. Sending it all around. And breathing. You don't have to give away any piece of yourself to do this. Regather all of your energy in your perfect balance. And remember that all you're doing is sending copies. Taking another breath or two here. And when you're ready, feel free to open your eyes. Noticing your body again. Your sensations, your breathing, noticing how everything feels with your eyes open. Remembering that you're welcome to revisit this meditation or any other meditation that may bring you peace and joy at any time.